How we doing, guys? I'm Brian Mason, really blessed and fortunate to be the special teams coordinator for the Indianapolis Colts. I'm originally from and born and raised in the Indianapolis area. My wife, Rachel Stark Mason, was born and raised in the Indianapolis area. We're really excited for this opportunity. Really thankful to Jim Irsay and the Irsay family, Chris Ballard and Shane Steichen, and we can't wait to start moving forward and hit the ground running. So, open it up to any questions that you guys have.
Was it always a goal to get to the NFL? Did you just when did?
So I started off coaching Division III football. So I played Division III football, started coaching Division III football. I did not have a goal that I was going to coach at Notre Dame or coach for the Indianapolis Colts. I grew up, a huge Indianapolis Colts fan, as most people that grew up in the Indianapolis area, and certainly it would have been a dream to be able to work for this amazing franchise and be able to live in Indianapolis and work for the Colts. But certainly I didn't have here's my dreams or goals starting off, coaching small college football. I just worked hard and took advantage of every opportunity that I had.
So what year did you graduate from Zionsville?
2005.
So right when this was going, right? So you huge Colts fan, you said?
Yeah.
And all those years?
Absolutely.
So what was pushed you into the game? Was it playing, or was it always an end to be a coach?
Yeah, I think I've had some really great coaching role models in my life, even starting with my high school football coach, Larry McWhorter. Really had a great impact on my life that pushed me to want to play college football even at the Division III level. Had a lot of injury issues both in high school and college that kind of pushed me into being a student coach, and just really, as a student coach in college, really started to love it. I'm like, let me pursue this and see where it goes.
So, how much time have you had to familiarize yourself with, what you have to work with here, and what have been your first impressions?
Yeah, so over the last week, been, working with assistant special teams coach Joe Hastings and really going through the roster, a lot of things that, obviously we've done here as an organization and on special teams the last couple of years to try and be able to familiarize myself with the roster and who we have coming back and all the different things that we're looking to implement. But it's really just been full steam ahead over the last week.
Brian, just to talk about the elephant in the room, you guys have got a kicker who said he's looking forward to being an Indianapolis Colt. Can you comment about that game?
No, I can't make any comments about personnel or any potential situations, as obviously Matt talked with you guys about.
How much though does it help to have a very accurate kicker?
So obviously it makes the special teams coach a lot better if you have really consistent, dependable specialists at all three positions, and certainly that would be very exciting.
Shane said the interviews for the position coaches were grueling. I'm just curious, what was your interview like with him, and what were your thoughts going into it, and afterward? Did you think you nailed it? Did you think you had the job?
No, certainly, it was a really good experience. To be able to come in and do something that's different. Certainly I'd never interviewed with an NFL franchise before, didn't know exactly what to expect on a lot of different levels, was really impressed with him and Chris Ballard and just who they are as people, and how sharp they were, how well-spoken they were, the vision, the plan they had, how important they put, the importance they put on special teams. Really felt, coming out of that interview and talking with them further that, special teams are going to continue to be successful here based on their vision and the importance they put on it, which I was really impressed with. Really just came in like a normal coaching interview for the most part and presented for several hours, answered questions, get to know each other, those kinds of things, and go in depth about some scheme and different ideas and things. But it was a good experience. Did not by any means think, I was going to get the opportunity right afterwards.
Yeah, I think you guys, if I recall correctly, blocked a ton of kicks at Notre Dame last year and have a history of that. Does that say anything about your philosophy? Were you guys really aggressive and just, what does that have to do with maybe your view of the kicking game?
Yeah, as a whole, special teams mentality-wise, have always tried to be aggressive, tough, and disciplined in everything we do. Certainly we want to be aggressive but smart. We're not going to be reckless, but we want to be able to try to find different advantages we can to have some fun in the game and create explosive plays that can impact field position. Those are really the two top things we're looking to impact every single game. Number one is field position. Number two is to generate explosive plays and limit the explosive plays of our opponent. We're able to, have some success at that at Cincinnati and Notre Dame. Being able to block kicks and punts. I think, 3 of the last 4 years we were number one in the country at blocked kicks and punts, and a lot of that, is the head coach. It starts with the head coaching buy-in to be able to give you, players that can compete at a really high level and make plays to do those things. The players being bought into the culture and things that we had going on, and being able to take advantage of some situations and opportunities in games to make some of those plays. The mentality of being aggressive certainly helps, as you start to build things to get those opportunities.
A related note, it takes certain kinds of players to do that. I know your predecessor had a lot of influence on roster and at least a voice in it. Have you had any conversations about that with Chris Ballard and Shane, and just do you think that'll be something you'll be able to kind of at least impact a little bit?
Yeah, certainly, in the interview process and some follow-up after that, there's been open dialogue that, hey, coaches' evaluations are important, and we're certainly going to have some dialogue. Obviously personnel decisions will go through Chris and all of those different things, but certainly there'll be some open conversations with those evaluations and things.
Brian, you mentioned when you interviewed, you did, kind of a dream situation. You didn't necessarily think you would get it. Why did you interview? Did you just want experience? Did you think, hey, you never know, hometown team, this sort of opportunity doesn't grow on trees? What went into some of that thinking?
Yeah, it was really just, it was an opportunity that was too good to pass up, to be able to be in Indianapolis, opportunity to pursue something in the NFL, to learn more about it, to meet Shane Steichen and Chris Ballard, to get that kind of experience. I was more and more impressed by them, as I interviewed with them, got to know more information about them afterwards, and just, being able to work for a team that you kind of grew up idolizing growing up, and taking the next step into my coaching career.
Brian, have you kept Zionsville as a base, or have you had to move around with your jobs?
We've moved around, moved around a lot. So very fortunate, very thankful. My wife has handled a lot of those things. Even though we had some continuity, maybe in college we did end up moving a lot from house to house and some different things. She worked for the NCAA headquarters for about 7 years, so we actually split the difference. She drove to Indianapolis and I drove to work at Cincinnati, so we kind of moved around some with that. So in the last 6 years we've lived together. This will be our 5th move, so I'm very thankful for her. A lot of moving and shaking.
You know the real estate?
I did not.
So you know the real estate layout back in Zionsville, or if that's where you're going to be?
Not a lot of real estate available, but we're working on it.
Do you want to be like super close to your parents, or limited space?
Have you crossed paths with Chris Ballard at all, like pro days or anything like that?
I've not.
A lot of guys contribute on special teams, but what goes into like making a core special team? Like what traits do you identify in those guys who seem to be on each unit, basically?
Yeah, obviously that's position specific. We're certainly looking for guys that, number one, love the game of football, have passion, high effort, and attitude. Are going to be tough, physical at the point of attack, have speed, straight line speed, different, characteristics. It's going to be different between skill guys, big skill guys, and some of those different things. But we're looking for guys that, can make adjustments, have a high football IQ, play with passion, high effort, and energy, have straight line speed, and physical at the point of attack.
How do you get that buy-in from guys, especially young guys who maybe were stars in college and they didn't have to play on teams that much? What is kind of the method for getting them to buy into it and understanding to impact their future?
Absolutely. There's a lot of different ways through the culture of special teams and both intrinsic and extrinsic motivation factors that we've used over the years that I'll continue to use here. And there's different things that they've done here in the past. But certainly we're trying to get guys to have a selfless sacrifice to give into special teams when maybe a lot of them came here for offense and defense, didn't think they'd have a role on special teams. So there's a lot of different ways we can show them how it's going to impact this team, how it's going to impact the game. So we start off by saying, here's the different ways that, hey, we're going to impact field position, we're going to generate explosive plays. It's going to help us win football games. Obviously that's going to get people interested. We're going to show them how it's going to help them develop as an overall football player. Offensive guys will learn defensive fundamentals. Defensive guys will learn offensive fundamentals, will help them further their game in a lot of different ways. And there's different ways we're going to have fun to be able to motivate guys by, giving some different things away, having fun in meetings, doing stuff like that that'll help kind of get them going and pushing through.
You talked about this being your dream come true. Have you had moments like exhale, or when it hit you? Was it when you walked in the building or put on the shirt, or I don't know, told your wife, was it a moment where you're like, damn, this is actually for real? Yeah, no, there's no doubt. Yeah, it's been surreal. It's been a little bit of a whirlwind, but yeah, no, every day I come in and I look at the horseshoe on my shirt. I'm just like, this is unbelievable. Just the opportunity to be able to work for the Indianapolis Colts is certainly a dream opportunity, and I'm looking forward to taking advantage of it.
So when you got the call from Chris or from Shane, what was the reaction? Who'd you call? What went through your mind?
Yeah, I was with my wife. Yeah, so I was with my wife. We were actually on our way to, my wife's family's house in Columbus, Indiana, for my mother-in-law's 70th birthday. We were not expecting to get the call as we were driving down to do that, but we're really excited. Obviously talking through some situations and details from there, and then talked with our family about it. But we're really excited. It was an opportunity that we just felt like we couldn't turn down.
What do you remember about Alec Pierce when he got to you guys at Cincinnati, and what made him a pretty good special teams player?
Yeah, Alec Pierce, one of the things that's unique about him and can make a really good special teams player is he has experience playing offense and defense. So, like, when he came to the University of Cincinnati, he was an invaluable special teams guy because in high school he had the skill set and familiarity of playing both offense and defense. So he can fit a lot of different roles. He's really athletic, really fast, good straight line speed, had kind of the background of playing offense and defense, and right away was kind of able to fit in and play special teams, did a really good job, and really loved coaching him at Cincinnati.
Obviously, roster size is different from college to the NFL. Anything else, just like special teams wise, you feel like you'll have to learn that's a different tweak from the college game?
Yeah, overall, special teams is going to be about, fundamental development. All those fundamentals, the game of football as a whole, there's going to be a lot of carryover. There's certainly going to be some differences, in the schematics of transitioning from college to the NFL. The biggest difference is going to be in punt schematic, and obviously the structure of the punt game is slightly different with the rules between college and the NFL, and that's certainly something that going full steam ahead and studying and getting prepared for.
What's it been like to see Alex, growth from afar, as he steps into his second year in the NFL?
It was awesome. Yeah, I talked to him and congratulated him, some even last year, and it's great to be able to catch back up with him. But, being able to coach him at Cincinnati and now see all of his success here, as a lot of the former players that I've coached have had success at the NFL, it's really, really great to see.